Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the what's next on former super middleweight champion Caleb Plant, following probably his career best victory, his brutal 9th round knockout victory over former two-time champion Anthony Dirrell. It was a true crossroads fight. It was a WBC eliminator, and Caleb Plant went out there and was outboxing, Dirrell, which nobody was surprised by. But he brutally caught him with a left hook in the 9th round and ended his night in dramatic fashion, and became pretty much the top contender to the WBC title, which is currently held by Canelo, the undisputed champion. But we don't know how long Canelo's going to be at 168, but it at the very least could line him up with a showdown with David Benavidez. So we're going to get all into that right now. We're going to run through the top 10 and see what could possibly be next for the former champion Plant, following that fantastic knockout victory over Anthony Dirrell. So we start with number one, Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed champion, which will be a rematch. This fight, the rematch is not going to happen next. Let's just be honest. It's not going to happen next. There's no need for a rematch right now for Canelo. Caleb Plant was winning a few rounds, yes, but wasn't dominating by any, but he won a couple rounds. He was boxing okay, but he wasn't really making a dent on Canelo. And then Canelo broke him down and stopped him in the end. So a rematch here is not going to happen next. I'll tell you that right now. Canelo is not going to be interested in that. He has way too many other options to explore. So no, not happening. Number two is the WBC interim champion, the undefeated David Benavidez. Now, I think there's a very good chance that this fight happens, especially if Canelo decides he does not want to be the super middleweight champ anymore. See, Canelo really wants a fight, a rematch with Dimitri Bivol. But I think Canelo is going to take some time, recover from some injuries. He might not fight until next September. But I think he wants to take his time and see what he's going to do. And if any of the governing bodies like the WBC come down and mandate him to fight, fight Benavidez, he might just give up the belt, and then Benavidez becomes full champ. And then I think it's absolute that Caleb Plant would fight David Benavidez. Because the full title would be on the line. Now, I definitely think the possibility is there that they could still fight, even if it's just for the interim belt. But we got to wait and see, what happens with the Canelo sweepstakes. I think you're probably not going to hear much for the next maybe 3-4 months on what Canelo is going to do, especially if he does not decide to fight in May of next year. If he does, then we're probably going to know in January which way Canelo's leaning, possibly February. But if Canelo says, no, I'm not fighting until September, I don't think we're going to know much about what's going on with the belt. So we got to be in that wait and see mode, but I do think there's a strong possibility of Plant and Benavidez squaring off. Now, next up, John Ryder. I'm not seeing it. Ryder is pretty much trying to line himself up also for a title shot. A win over Zach Parker. I think that's for the WBO interim title, the vacant WBO interim title. Guarantees him a shot at the belt. And, Caleb Plant, just, plus they're with different promotions, it just wouldn't make sense as of right now for the two promotions to come together. Daniel Jacobs. These two guys have talked shit about each other for a while, but Jacobs really hasn't done anything the last couple of years. I mean, in all reality, he had two, I think after losing to Canelo, he had two decent victories, I believe. Or no, he actually beat, wasn't it Chavez? And then he ended up taking on, he took most of the 2020 off and then squared off against, what's his name? Gabriel Rosado, and that was a fight there was a lot of people that thought he might have lost. And then he bounced back against, what was it? I think he fought John Ryder, and Ryder beat him earlier this year. So would Jacobs at this point want to roll in against Caleb Plant? I doubt it, so I'm not seeing it. Then Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe's coming back, but I don't think he's going to be in the Caleb Plant sweepstakes because he fights for Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, and I just don't think those two sides are going to come together. I would love to see a battle of two former champs, another one, but I don't think either guy is going to want to cross the street, so to speak, to set this one up. Then you got, a rematch with Anthony Dirrell is not going to happen. You got David Morrell, the WBA regular champion. Another guy who's lining himself up for a world title, but the possibility is there because Morrell is with the PBC. So this one potentially could happen between these two guys. So we got to wait and see what happens there. Kyrone Davis wouldn't be a bad option. See, Kyrone Davis defeated Jose Ustadegui later the same year that Caleb Plant beat Ustadegui to capture the IBF belt. So I wouldn't be surprised if Davis, because he had ties with the PBC, if Davis were to get a crack at Caleb Plant next, while Caleb Plant, if he has to wait around for a title shot, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrone Davis is the guy that gets tapped to fight him. And then you got Lerone Richards, who is an undefeated contender on the rise right now. I'm not seeing that one as a possibility. So at the end of the rainbow, I think the possibility of a showdown with David Benavidez is very strong. But Benavidez has to get through Jose Ustadegui. They're about to schedule that fight. I don't think he's gonna have trouble with Ustadegui, but we gotta wait to see what Canelo decides to do. Once Canelo, decides what he's gonna do, then all the other pieces fall into place. And I do think that because Caleb Plant and Benavidez were both bitches at each other before, they were both champions and they couldn't come together, and then when I think just Benavidez or just Plant was champion, it was like, hey, you're not a champion anymore, you don't mean anything. That's bullshit. These two guys are now officially two of the top 3 fighters at 168, and Canelo's not probably going to fight either one of them, so why not fight each other? And even if it's for an interim belt, you mandate becoming the full champion. But if the title is on the line, I do think there's a good chance these guys fight. And if it's not Benavidez, it could be somebody like Kyrone Davis, somebody along those lines. So we just got to wait and see what happens. But Caleb Plant, this was a fantastic win. He really earned it, and I can't wait to see what he does next. But that's what I got. That's the what's next on former super middleweight champion Caleb Plant following a dominant knockout victory over Anthony Dirrell. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.